Join me as I dive deep into the world of Bitcoin ETFs and see if I can predict whether they'll send prices soaring. Bitcoin ETFs, or exchange-traded funds, are investment vehicles that track the price of Bitcoin, allowing investors to buy and sell shares on traditional stock exchanges. This could potentially open the floodgates for institutional investors, like pension funds and hedge funds, to get into the cryptocurrency market. The idea is that by making it easier for these big players to invest in Bitcoin, ETFs could significantly impact the market and drive prices up. Bitcoin's price stability has been a major concern for investors, with wild swings making it difficult to predict its future value. One of the main reasons for this volatility is the lack of institutional investment. Most investors in the cryptocurrency market are individual investors, which can lead to a lack of liquidity and big price swings. Institutional investors, on the other hand, tend to invest for the long haul, which could help stabilize the market. The current market is also limited by the fact that many big investors are hesitant to get into the market due to regulatory uncertainty and security concerns. This creates a kind of catch-22 situation where investors are hesitant to get in because the market is so volatile, but the market remains volatile because there aren't enough big investors to help stabilize it. Another challenge facing Bitcoin is that it's still a relatively new and misunderstood asset class. Many investors are hesitant to get into the market because they don't fully understand it, and that lack of understanding can lead to fear and skepticism. This makes it even harder for Bitcoin to attract the kind of institutional investment that could help drive prices up. The mechanics of Bitcoin ETFs are actually pretty straightforward. They work by holding a certain amount of Bitcoin in a trust or custodial account, and then issuing shares that represent a certain amount of that Bitcoin. These shares can then be traded on traditional stock exchanges, just like any other stock. The benefits of Bitcoin ETFs are clear. They make it easier for investors to get into the market, and they provide a way for institutional investors to invest in Bitcoin in a way that's familiar to them. From a regulatory standpoint, Bitcoin ETFs are still a relatively new and evolving area. In the US, for example, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has been slow to approve Bitcoin ETFs, citing concerns about market manipulation and investor protection. However, as the market continues to mature and more investors get involved, it's likely that we'll see more ETFs get approved. One of the main benefits of Bitcoin ETFs is that they could attract institutional investors who are looking for a way to get into the market. These investors are often required to invest in assets that are approved by their investment committees, and Bitcoin ETFs could provide a way for them to do that. This could lead to a flood of new money into the market, which could drive prices up. Recent market trends suggest that investors are getting more confident in the potential for Bitcoin ETFs to drive prices up. Some experts predict that if a Bitcoin ETF is approved, we could see prices surge to new highs. Others are more skeptical, arguing that the impact of ETFs will be more muted. Either way, it's clear that Bitcoin ETFs are a major development that could have a big impact on the market. As we look to the future, it's clear that Bitcoin ETFs have the potential to significantly impact the market. Some experts predict that we'll see a surge in prices in the short term, while others see more long-term growth. Whatever the case, it's clear that Bitcoin ETFs are an important development that investors need to pay attention to. The potential effects of Bitcoin ETFs on market prices are significant, and it's clear that they could be a major driver of growth for the market. As we wrap up today's video, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways. First, Bitcoin ETFs have the potential to attract institutional investors and drive prices up. Second, the regulatory landscape is still evolving, but it's likely that we'll see more ETFs get approved in the future. So, what do you think about Bitcoin ETFs? Do you think they'll send prices soaring, or will they have a more muted impact? Let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in learning more about cryptocurrency trends, be sure to check out my related videos.